you started the business after studying journalism.
Yes.
You started the business without knowledge on business. What
Yes.
happened in between? You starting a business, how are you able to start it, to run it, before you decided to actually go back to school?
I think quite honestly, I would actually say I didn't know what I was doing. Right? It's those things.
Try and error. You're like, let's try this.
But in this case, it was very significant because I wasn't even supposed to do entrepreneurship. I've never seen myself as an entrepreneur ever.
It wasn't in your mind.
I never had ambition. I didn't even have the drive to be an entrepreneur. I started off at some point. My mom shipped a few bags, or rather not a few bags. She shipped bags, the camo print.
Yeah.
I started selling them, and I only sold 5 off of a whole shipment.
What?
So from that whole thing, my mom just sat down and just said, "I'm not good in
business." You're like, I'm
products.
just done.
Yeah, I'm not good in selling goods. I can't sell to you a good like unipatie simu. Yeah, I sell to you. I can't sell to your phone. But I can provide a service. I'm a journalist, so which means how I present myself, how I do that, like I'm able, how I communicate. I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
So I would say even my business, Born of God, is off of inspiration, and it's off of just the inspiration of God and just the instruction of God to do it. So coming into it, it was more, I was just availing myself. I always see myself as somebody who, as an employee, like God has just employed me to do all these things. He just told me do this and this. So I operate more on instruction and the leadership and the counsel of God to be able to do something. Then I do it, I execute, and I'm like, it succeeds. I'm like, oh
wow, it just
okay,
happened.
so yeah. So I think that's how I've been able to do it. But then also now continuing now, that's also why I also thought about, why don't I also complement the leading of Christ with school as well, so that I'm able to understand different things and the gaps that are within the business space. Yeah, but I would say the grace of God and the leading of the Holy Spirit has been so key in my life that if I take that away, I don't have a business, or I wouldn't even be here at this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, guys, it's very important for you to actually seek God. There was a time we were talking about spirituality. No matter what career you're in, no matter what business, no matter what you're doing, you need to have a spiritual background backing you up. So if you actually put your passions and everything in line with God, everything will work out for you. Just imagine, that easy. So what are the future prospects for you career-wise?
So I look at myself two ways. So there's Nick Gitao, who's a journalist. I have a passion for media. Yeah. I also have now such a growing passion over the recent years. Yeah. A growing passion for business, and an already passion for ministry. So I always see myself in these 3 categories. That's media, business, and ministry. It's always MBM.
Oh,
so
wow. There's even an acronym for that.
Like an acronym Apple.
Yes.
So then in the different categories, I have prospects of where I see myself. So in media, I definitely see myself doing, starting companies and doing different things where that is concerned, and I don't want to talk about it much.
Okay. You don't want to jinx it before it actually happens.
Not even jinx it. I can say it's already gone. The Holy Spirit is already in front of me.
Working on it.
Exactly. In the business space, we have at this point have a couple of businesses, so which means, and just looking to set that up. So for Born of God, definitely growing to an international brand. Yeah. And we are pivoting towards a couple of things that are quite interesting, and I think that's not only the leading of God, but also the future of where Born of God is going. And I don't want to talk about it much as well, majorly because it's things that you're currently doing right now. And once the time is right, we'll definitely have the same sitting and now introduce what we have. Wow! So that's something that's going. We have another business that brands for individuals, for organizations, and for businesses. So if you if you're an individual or an artist, we are currently onboarding 2 artists who we are in charge of their merchandising. So if, for instance, whichever artist wants to like start a clothing company or a clothing line under their brand, which is another stream of revenue, then we get to facilitate that. So that is going around. And other businesses that are still being set up at this point. In terms of ministry, I am privileged to be able to serve in my local church, Nairobi Lighthouse Church. So in just different capacities. And I think those are the 3 things that I'm glad that in each and every part of it there's something that's going. I forgot to say that in media, I write. I am a blogger.
Wow.
Yes. So I write quite a bit. It's www.nickgitao.com.
What do you write about in your blogs? You know, I'm also into media and I love reading a lot.
Yes. So I'm a creative writer.
Oh wow.
So which means I literally write based on inspiration. I write about anything, right? But yeah, so it has a tagline called "My Life in God's Scroll."
Wow.
So which means I get to write about things that I experience, things that I see, and my perspective in life, either based through the word, but definitely through the lens of the word for sure. But then also just based on inspiration, I can write about anything. So that's pretty much. There's also something that's aligned to that. That's also coming. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
Wow. Do you see yourself like pursuing media further, or that's just it for media?
Yes. So as I said, I'm not able to talk about it much. But there are things that are aligning towards that, and I would definitely want to even now venture into media.
Wow.
As I said, even where I'm employed right now as a part-time employee, I'm the communications coordinator there. So which means
I don't think you mentioned that, and that's a very, very important point.
So I'm currently, as we speak, employed at a part-time at a part-time basis, or rather on a part-time basis at an NGO called Systems Acumen for Youth-Led Development Solutions.
Okay, wow.
Yes, it's a whole word, but in short, it's SAIDS.
Oh, SAIDS.
Yes, so I'm a communications coordinator there. So I express a bit of what I have, my media proficiency there, in terms of just doing their end-to-end communications. So
we can say the business management has come as a bonus on top of the media, because you're still pursuing it.
Exactly, yes.
Oh, so pursuing journalism was a passion of yours.
Yeah, but I would say I'm more a journalist than a business person in terms of just me intrinsically. But then again, as I said, business just came off of, you know, God highlighting something that He placed in me that I didn't know. So I ended up doing it and found, oh, this is actually something that I like. It's something that I have a passion for, and you know, I have ambition and, you know, God's dreams over me where business is concerned. So that's also a path that I will pursue. So just to probably condense all these things, there's a definition I had of what, you know, you can probably think I'm doing a lot of things, and you know, who are you?
Yeah,
you know,
like so many things. Are you trying to kill yourself with a lot of things?
But there's a definition, there's a name called polymath. So polymath is somebody who does a lot of things and still in the same person. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so what would you say to someone who is thinking about pursuing business management, but they don't have the necessary funds to like go back to school? Can they pursue it online?
100%. So these days there are a couple of programs. They are not like stated as business administration, but then there are different, even the units that people cover, you're able to cover them in like on a platform. Do I mention the platforms?
Yes, you can,
cool.
Mention them.
So there is Coursera.
Yes.
You can do one at Udemy. There's an app by Google. I just forget
Google
the name.
Primer.
Yes, Google Primer. You're able to do short courses there as well. There are different certifications by different organizations, reputable organizations, especially where things like finance are concerned.
Yeah.
So there's Corporate Finance Institute, CFI, that certifies people on accounts and different things. So if you just look for that particular thing that you want to study, there are different organizations, institutions that are not even in Kenya that offer that at a fee, but that's at an affordable rate. So you'd find you can even study for free, but if you want the certificate, then you're able to chip in, say, 5K, 10K Kenya shillings to get to be certified to do that. Yeah, which also is a value addition to you.
Okay. Yeah. So again, what would you tell someone as a person who has worked on 2 careers and is still practicing both? What would you tell someone who has the same aspiration but doesn't know where to start from?
I would say if the person has vision for or has the passion to do both, they are not confused. No, they are not confused. It's something I've battled for a long time, is that you're not confused. And if you just, I just pray they know God, that if you actually ask God how I'm able to do this, He will direct you into the path to go. So I would say that you would just find and prioritize time to study both and to also express both, either in a business, in employment, or any other thing that you're looking to do. Do it. The best thing you can do to yourself is actually do it, and you will find yourself branching off in great streams, and you'll find fulfillment in those things that God has called you to do. So you're not confused, and you're not, there's a collection we put out as Born of God called Graced Different. So the reason why I was inspired to do that is because I have faced the same. So I would want to tell that person is graced different. Like you're not one thing. You can be 2 things, you can be 3 things, you can be 4 things. But just continually pursue that, and continually pursue those things that you have been placed in your hand to do. It's the parable of the talents. You are given 5, right? But in those 5, you aren't told to only invest in one. Right?
Invest in all of them.
And all of them will also give back, or rather there is going to be a return investment in all of them. It's not you won't just find fruition in one talent and that's it. You will find fruition in all the them. 5.
Wow, that is beautiful. So guys, that is the end of today's episode. I hope you learned something from Nick Gitau. So if you're back at home, you have pursued a course and probably it was your passion or it wasn't your passion, and you want to pursue something different, or you want to pursue so many things, this is your chance to go for it. Just keep pushing, go towards your dream. And we'll see you next week right here at Meet the HR as we pursue a different interesting course. So stay tuned on MBCI TV. Bye.